There we are. Good morning. Happy Monday. And welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It's great to see you this morning. Snowing again here in Connecticut. How is it going, everybody? How did you weather the storm? I know some people were lucky. I was on a conference call for about 3.5 hours yesterday morning, a Tigger conference call. Man, is that ever shaping up? I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, Rebecca, the rest of us are on the East Coast, so we were all getting slaughtered. But oh my gosh, I'm looking at my poor husband out there. He's halfway down the driveway with the snowblower. It looks like some kind of natural disaster with the snow blasting in an arc out of the snowblower. We went to pick up this snowblower off Facebook Marketplace this weekend because we had chased like four or five in the last month, and someone always ends up selling it out from under you. Like, you plan your day around picking it up at a set time, and then they write and say, oh, I sold it. This just keeps happening over and over. Integrity is really a problem these days, I've got to say. But we finally got one. Guy lived near us, but really, truly in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we live on the top of a mountain here, but he really very remote. I can't believe that we got this enormous snowblower into the Kia Soul. The kids weren't in the car, but it weighed like 10 tons, and part of it needed to be unscrewed. My husband is Dutch, so he doesn't like to pay full price for anything. He's very good with some stuff, like we travel a lot and we always eat out, things like that. He's very good with, but to purchase something, the price has got to be right, right? This is like in his blood. There's no getting around it. He would rather buy something inexpensive, have it break, waste time fixing it 1,000 times, than buy something new that's like the full price. It is what it is, right? We all choose our battles, but I think we were very lucky with this particular snowblower because it looks like major industrial snowblower, and since our driveway is so long and so steep, I'm thinking we're needing this. We got about 2 feet of snow yesterday, and so the kids are off school today. Very exciting for everyone. I love it when they're not at school, right? They're totally a pain, but I love it when they're not at school because my day isn't dictated by dropping one off, coming back, dropping the other off, and then waiting to pick them up. So I love snowy days like this. It is so beautiful. It gives us some time to catch up. It is nice and quiet for the moment. Um, yeah, and I gotta say, it was so fun yesterday. We didn't lose power during this crazy storm, and I really expected to. It was such a fun day having the fireplace going right here all day, looking out here and seeing down the mountain, seeing the town down the mountain. No cars. I mean, we never would hear cars anyway, but sometimes you can see them in the distance. None. And luckily, no one was being stupid. But so much snow. I ended up walking. There's trails behind our house, which we didn't know about when we bought the house. You have to go about half an acre and then through the yard, right up like the mountain, and then you connect to trails that are marked like by color. So my husband likes to walk back there with Buttons, the dog, and they never see anybody else back there. One time, we saw someone else. Like I wasn't there. Joss was there wearing her mask, right? Her green alien dog mask, and encountered someone else. So we never see anybody back there. So we were walking back there yesterday. I was walking with the dog and my husband Darian, and it was really deep. And I started to get, and he's used to doing it, and I'm not. I'm not a fan of walking in the woods. I prefer to walk like in town or on the bike trail or something like that. I don't like walking somewhere where, for example, I might fall down, break my leg, and have to die there. He doesn't mind stuff like that. So I'm back there, and I started to get the feeling of, oh, I'm probably going to fall and break my leg and die here. So I said, you know what? I feel like we're walking to our deaths. I'm going to head back. And I started to walk back, and the snow was coming down so fast that I was having a Hansel and Gretel thing where it was like, is that the path? And I was starting to get into a panic, right? Because I'm thinking he can't hear me if he's in the same room. If I start shouting help, help to him, he'll never hear me. Like I'll die here if I'm taking the wrong way. So I'm trying to follow in our footsteps from 15 minutes before, and so much snow has come down. I'm getting into a real dither. And I have my hood over my head, and all of a sudden this big white thing runs in front of me, like bumps me and runs in front of me. And I screamed so loud. He didn't hear it. Like he didn't hear it, or else he just didn't come. it was a dog. I don't know what I guess I was thinking of bears and wolves and bobcats and big stuff like that and them being hungry. Like it just scared me so much. And it was this bouncy all white dog, not a husky, but like all white dog, big thick fur, bouncy, waggy tail. And I was like, oh my God. And he had a little tag on, but the snow was really coming down and I couldn't see the tag. And I was looking around and shouting, is anybody there? Anybody lose their dog? And no one's answering. It's just like, And so I realized that I could see we have like three sheds on the property. Make it sound like it's an estate, right? It's like it's a sort of crappy house. But I saw the top of one of our sheds. And so I made our way back to the yard and the dog was ahead of me. And I thought, this is so funny. And the dog ran ahead of me, ran into the open garage door and to the door to the like breezeway, right? That's the room I'm in the summer. And I was just waiting at the door for me. And I thought, this is so strange. Like he seems to know our house. And of course, it's a new house for us. So there was no way I was opening the door without him getting in front of me. Like he was right, like his nose was right in the crack and he was going, like he was coming inside. And I felt his fur and it felt really, really cold. And I couldn't tell if he was cold because he'd been out for 15 minutes or if he'd been out lost for hours. And I thought, uh-oh, I'll bring him into the breezeway and then I'll try to check his tag and see if there's a phone number on it. And sorry, it's such a long, boring story, but it was quite cute. And and so I came into the breezeway, and then of course I come up the steps to come into the house proper, and yeah, he was coming in too. So he slides in ahead of me into the house, and it turned out his name was Mac. He was such a good boy. He was so excited. I was afraid he was going to start peeing on rugs or on furniture. He didn't. He like checked everything out, and Buttons was still on his walk, and he checked everything out. The cat made herself scarce, and um, and so I was like, well, this is kind of fun. I opened the door to Jocelyn's room. She's like the greatest animal lover. And Mac jumped up on her bed and woke her up. She was so confused, but so happy. I've never seen her get out of bed so fast. I mean, it's a struggle every day. Even on Christmas, it's a struggle to get her out of bed. And then I opened the door to Teddy's room and Mac woke Teddy up. It was just exciting. And I went into the fridge and he went upstairs, downstairs. He tried all the chairs. He did like a Goldilocks. He tried all of the chairs, all of the couches. He settled on one of the big recliners downstairs where the kids play video games. And he didn't want to get up again. So I came upstairs to, with the fireplace going and everything. There's a fireplace downstairs too. I came upstairs to get him a snacky, like some cold cuts or something. So he followed me upstairs, and then I heard my husband calling, and his owner had figured it out because I tried to scan his code, and it was too small to scan on my brand new phone. Right, this is like the best phone on the market right now. Couldn't scan the tag, so something to think about because thinking when dogs get loose, you really have to have a tag that can scan. Otherwise, what's the point of the tag? Because there was no other information on it but the QR code and it was too small. So, yeah, I mean, strange, right? But it was so exciting. So his owner came. She was very, very relieved. She looked so cold. It was a very exciting start to the day. After that, everything was quite boring. And I kind of sat as I do here, where I sit in the window to work. I can see our old Christmas tree on the front porch. My husband did a Charlie Brown like cross of wood, right? And just I'm doing a live show. I'm doing a live show. I forgot my Pop-Tart. He needs a Pop-Tart. He's in his underpants in the kitchen. I hope you can't see him getting a Pop-Tart. We did one of these on the bottom right into the trunk of the tree, and it stands out on the porch with all of the strands of popcorn that we strung and all of these little suet balls of with yarn hanging out of them that are like ornaments on the tree. There's got to be, honestly, 50 birds on that tree. I'm not kidding. And we opened up one of the sheds. It's like a little playhouse because nobody uses it. Propped it open with a like log and put a camera in there. So I spent some time yesterday checking the camera every little while, and some of the smallest birds, the juncos, they were the only ones who figured out that house was open and there was bird seed scattered on the floor. So it was like shelter, no wind, just cracked open a little bit warmer, food on the floor. None of the big birds and the aggressive ones like the jays figured it out, but the tiny juncos were coming and going all day, and it's still open, so they can go in there too. And if other animals come, like there's a fox who comes through, If he figures it out, he could stay in there too. So much fun in the winter, right? This is like the most fun part of the winter to me. Everything else, the driving in the snow and the black ice and all of that, and people expecting me to put skis on and do stupid stuff in the cold. Not my favorite, but the part with the fire going and sitting in the window watching birds while I work on rug hooking stuff, that's not bad, right? Loving the thumbnail, by the way. Oh, thank you for saying so. The thumbnail is by Mary Cantu, Cantu. Beautiful piece. We're going to look at that during today's show because if you remember from the Friday show, we had gallery night. And I had pulled a bunch of other things I wanted to show you for gallery night. We kind of got through the content that was sent to me and had some other things that I thought were interesting to share. But we went overtime as usual, as always on a gallery night. So I thought, let's do a little bit more today. Gives us something to do today. Sharon, great to see you. Hello from cold but not snowy Vancouver. Good news there. The forecast for next week is rainy and warmer temps. There we go. Creeping towards spring, right? Didn't get the snow we were threatened with. Oh my gosh, not at all. So it's not like it stopped. It's like it didn't come. Kirsten also said that, by the way, I heard that hook in the other day was fantastic. Really fun. That's so great for the group, right? I rarely log on to that stuff, I have to say, because, I mean, I work until I go to bed. And I usually take one day off a week for like a road trip. But I work until, I wanted to show you the thing I found. I'll grab it in a minute. Um, so I rarely log on to those things because I always think I can log on and work, but I always end up talking and not working, and then I find myself behind. Kirsten said it was a huge success, a lot of fun, a lot of people chatting, and I love that. And it inspires her, keeps Kirsten interested too. I have something new of Kirsten's to show you in today's show too. But I'm so happy that so many people logged on, and it was such a lot of fun. And she didn't get that much snow in Vermont. She said it wasn't noticeable on top of the snow they already had. I mean, that's kind of like a weird kind of update, right? Because it's like they already had so much crazy snow that like another blizzard didn't really make much difference. But Vermont is Vermont. That is the charm of it. Oh, Michelle, great to see you. You are cozily knitting away on a sweater from one of your sweet sheep. Oh, that little darling. The pattern is called Pressed Flowers. Appreciate it, don't you think? I hope everyone is warm and toasty. Yes, I'm thinking about flowers a lot lately. In fact, yesterday, with just the vibe being what it was and us being snowed in and me having this feeling in the back of my mind that because of where we live, we were going to lose power. I was so relieved that we didn't, because then we would have lost the ability to flush the toilet, which was one of my biggest things. So it was such a happy day. I was in such a good mood when I got off the phone call with Tigger. And by the way, if you are a Tigger member, and I hope you are, there's more information coming your way. We put together the start of a really big teachers list and vendors list for Tigger 2026 Newport, Rhode Island. So I hope that it starts on Halloween, right? The first day of Tigger will be Halloween. So that's October 31st, 2027. I know it's next year, but it's going to creep up on us. And we will have like a Halloween party like that first night. And we were settling teachers, not all of them though, because we are having a committee for like teachers education, and someone else is heading that up. So I'll be able to. We're doing a lot of committee heads kind of thing. I'll be able to share more of that soon, as soon as I have confirmation from everyone and everyone is really in it to win it. But we did a lot of name firming up yesterday with teachers and vendors. And you are still very welcome to suggest to me, teachers and vendors, if people are coming from outside of the country to this Tigger event 2027, they need to have paperwork to work here. Obviously, we won't get into the news, but obviously things are not very relaxed right now, and there's not a lot of good feeling at the borders. So we can't do that sort of laissez-faire approach and like, oh, hope someone doesn't get caught who's coming here to teach and doesn't have the right paperwork. We can't do that because I'm the president. And if we got in trouble and the not-for-profit organization that we've been working free for will be 4 years by the time we run the event. All of those free, hundreds of hours will be one thing, but the other thing would be I could lose everything if we did something bad and I was held responsible. So we're not doing anything bad, or everything is by the book this time, unfortunately. But I am happy to hear about people who might be speakers, vendors, or teachers. I'd love suggestions as we put this all together. Really exciting. We also chose things to do on different nights. And where if you went to Tigger 2025, it was super fun. There was a lot of stuff in the evening. And I have to say, I can only speak for myself. As much as I love the whole event and regarded it as an opportunity to hang out for like 3/4 days with other hookers. That was the thing, was the community, right? Just hanging out, being together and meeting people in person, just fooling around, grabbing a meal with someone or sitting with someone at a table. That was it for me. It wasn't about, it wasn't for me. I didn't take classes because I know I can't sit still, but it wasn't for me about lots of speakers and lots of classes and all of that. So I did take two classes. I did take two. I took Tracy Jamar and Haken. I forget his last name. You know, the amazing Norwegian artist. I took those two. I took Hawkins for half because we had to hit the road and drive back from Canada that afternoon. But, I did a lot of stuff in the evening, but I found for myself that I was tired in the evening and it was very hard for me, right, to sit and listen in the evenings, to sit and shh. I found that really difficult. So we're making a point of for ourselves because we all agree that we're the kind of people who if you got me at a table and we're looking at slides or listening and the lights are dim, it's the movie theater effect. I am going to start dozing, right? I can't help it. It's just where I'm at. So we made a point of having things that are in the evening to be kind of interactive things, lively things, things that have music, things that are interactive, that you're not sitting and shh, just to keep the energy up. And we planned some amazing stuff. So keep an eye on that. Be thinking about that. I know a lot of people are waiting to officially join Tigger to know about the teacher lineup and all of the stuff that's happening. So that's falling together very quickly. We can't plan all of it years in advance. And now is just about the right time because we're still more than a year and a half away from the event. In some places, like in Newport, you can't even book out this far. So we're working on it and it is coming together like now. If you're interested or your guild is interested in working on projects for Tigger, whether you are local or not, we can deal with shipping, right? If you want to work on stuff for swag bags or anything like that, just let me know. We're always looking, lots of hands make light work, right? We're always looking for more hands. If you are a fairly local guild, because this will take place in Newport, Rhode Island, or you're a very mobile guild, you're a bunch of fireballs, and you like hitting the road for a road trip. We are trying to create an evening that will be like a guild evening, where guilds come and kind of represent your local guild, show what you've been working on recently, like in the past year or so. And guilds show up just like sports teams, right? Kids going on buses to away games, just like sports teams showing up and guilds will like we're trying to shape this now, but have a table, do like a throwdown, a rug throwdown, show the stuff you've been working on. Some guild members come and represent, talk about the guild, talk about joining the guild, events that you have. I mean, just talking about the guilds who are local. There's dozens local, fairly local, because we're in New England and it's the hornet's nest of guilds. So be thinking about all that stuff and how you might kick in and contribute, help. And always hit me with any questions. I'll always take time out to answer. MC, um, peculiar. Peace and blessings to you too. Happy Monday morning. It's great to see you. I settled on a name for this piece. With help. Yes. Okay. So Mary, that is you. Mary, that is you. MC. Okay. Now I've got it. And I put that into the show too. My sister's keeper. We'll show that in just a minute in memory of my baby sister Sharon, who passed on January 9th, 2026. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is so recent, Mary. I'm so sorry to hear that. What a sad way to start off the year. Oh, it's a beautiful name for your piece and a beautiful piece. That is the thumbnail today. So we'll be looking at that. Cheryl, great to see you. Plenty of time, plenty of snow. Did you get plenty of snow in Falmouth? Oh my gosh. Cranberry rug hooking. Yes, I'll be there. Fantastic. You'll be there for the Cranberry Rug Hooking Guild. That is the show the first Saturday of May. So that is the show on Cape Cod, the Cranberry Rug Hooking Guild. The first Saturday of May, I will be there too. Cheryl, you'll be there. Some other buddy said they'd be there. I think I'll probably travel with Naomi. That's May 2nd. That is always a great show, and there's always in the past have been about 4, maybe 5 vendors there. So that'll be a lot of fun and a great opportunity. Kirsten, happy Monday. You have about 5 inches of snow. 2 more expected. That's not much at all. We got more than twice. We got 3 times that almost. How about everyone else? Ice, snow, sunshine. Rita, great to see you. Melissa, good morning in snowy Sackville, New Brunswick. And Sirac 9863, about a foot of snow here in Indiana. Becky, is that you? Most counties are in red, so no work. Staying in and staying cozy. That's fantastic. Is a foot of snow a lot out there? I mean, a foot of snow is a lot, right? You're not going to drive in a foot of snow. You got to clear it. So in that regard, it's a lot. Courtney, great to see you. Good morning. Linda, good morning. 14 inches there. Yeah, I'm thinking it's about the same. No. We're more than that. 14 is just over a foot, right? 12 inches. Yeah, sorry. Been a while, right? Karen, great to see you. We were talking about you yesterday too. I'm going to send you a message. We were talking about you in the Tigger meeting in a good way. Good morning from Black Forest, Colorado. Gorgeous blue sky Monday. Sorry, my husband's coming back in, so Buttons is barking. After a snowy sub-zero weather weekend. Sure was, right? Kanga, good morning from beautiful snow-covered western Pennsylvania. I bet it is so beautiful. Oh, Barbara, great to see you. It sounds like an episode from Mouse Hole Farm. Totally did. It did. Maybe that, I'm almost finished with the second Mouse Hole piece. We'll talk about that because I have some of those slides in the show. And I will remind you that this is the monthly kit, and there's like a set number that I'm doing for each month because I really can't stock like unlimited of these textured wools. They all come from the door, and it's just too much to keep textured wools and to dye because there's a lot of hand dyeing with these monthly kits. So I'm almost finished and almost ready to show the February kit, which will be out within the week. And I just want to remind you that if you are doing the kits and you are, as I said last time, hell-bent on having all 12 of them, make sure you send me a message because priority will go to people who are doing all 12. I don't have the technology or the intelligence to offer a subscription, but I can put you on the list and ask you first if you want the next one. And obviously no pressure, but for people who are trying to get all 12, I will check with you first. So make sure you let me know if you are one of those people. I got a few emails after the last show that I said that, and the title was, I am hell-bent. So I've got that list started, and make sure if that's you that I know that because they sold out pretty quickly last time. And you're thinking, why doesn't she stock more? Just because I had done a set amount for January. And if I had, oh no, something bad's happening. Dang it, something bad's happening. Ooh, this is really bad. I was afraid this is going to happen. I'm having a glitch this morning that I noticed while I was putting the show together. Having a glitch in that the cursor goes away only with this program. So you know what I'm going to do because I can't scroll down and I can't use the cursor. And since that's the case, I can't show slides either. So I'm going to do something risky and I'm going to shut the computer down, bring it back up, stay there for a moment, and let's see if I can get it back on the rails because I want to finish saying hello and I want to start the slideshow and I need that cursor. This particular thing has not happened before here, but it's happened like 5 times this morning. I thought we were over it. It's nothing to do with the snow. There's a problem. So I'm going to shut it down, hang on for a second, and give me a second to pop back up, and I might lose the comments that are there. So let me just run through them. Love seeing all my buddies here. Ruth, great to see you. Oh no, you've been sick. Just as Richard's getting better, right? You're getting sick. Marilyn, great to see you. It stopped snowing in Northwest Indiana. Okay, good. So now it's the phase 2, right? The cleanup we will do. Kirsten says that there will be another pop-up Zoom Saturday, February 7, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So make sure that you look for that in our Facebook group, which is Raw Cooking and Punch Needle Club. Oh yeah, no problem. Before I do that, I'm going to do that daring thing. Let me show you the thing that I found this weekend. Because if you're not on Facebook, you missed it. It is so cool. Hold on one second. I'm right here. Dang it. So not everybody's on Facebook. And man, do I get it. So I posted this on Facebook because we knew we were going to be snowed in for days. So we took the kids out sorry, here comes some noise. Took the kids out on Saturday, just on an impromptu thing. After the snowblower thing was a success, I was feeling very vital and I wanted to do something exciting because I knew we'd be snowed in for the next at least 2 days. So we took a ride out to Millerton, New York, which is one of my favorite towns. I'm really starting to love some of these villages in New York. So funny how they don't look at all like New England villages either. So different. It's like they're their own animal. Absolutely adorable town. I've been there before. I always find rugs there. There's a big antique center that not really big, but big enough to be super exciting. And so I found this here. Then we went to Red Hook, New York, which was also super cute. That's probably more famous. Let me show you this. I found this piece when I walked into the first stall of this antique center, right on the main street. It's the only one, so you can't miss it. Millerton, New York. I think it's called Millerton Antique Center. Imagine that. And I walked into the first stall because it's always a good stall for me, and I saw this on the wall. Let me open this. Okay, so I'll do it over here, right, because it's going to get noisy. I need to put it up on my wall. I think I'm going to put it up in the bedroom so I can see it when I wake up. And the reason I was so excited about this was because I knew this rug already. I think it's one of a kind. We've looked at it on the show, and it was way out of my price range when it sold like less than a year ago. It is mounted. This rug here. We've definitely looked at it on the show because it was up for auction. I feel like I was either asleep at the wheel and I missed it, or it went really high. And I noticed again afterward that it was up for sale for like $995. So that's not in my price range. But I just loved this piece. So this piece has been well on my radar for a really long time. Now, it might be a commercial pattern. I just can't find it if it is. So it is mounted. It's not a new mount. It's an old mount on like black canvas, right? Really well mounted. It's very mounted. It's very taut. It's on a wooden frame, right? And so the rug is like sitting on top here. But I walked into the first, it's not huge, right? Compared to me, it's not small, but it's not huge. Walked into the first stall, right? So I was aware that this was online for $9.95, $125. So 125. I thought, am I missing a one? Is it 1125? 125. So I took it off the wall and I put it up at the counter so nobody else could get it. But I mean, I was so excited, and it just goes to show I had no idea that this rug was in this part of the country. I mean, it could have been anywhere, right? And I thought that it had just been sold. So I'm wondering, was it sold to somebody whose intention was to flip it? Was it sold to someone who received it and didn't like it? Was it sold to someone whose house was almost immediately like cleared out or sorted out by someone else and they didn't want it? Like, it could be anything, right? And it just goes to show when you watch things at auction, we all are sometimes brokenhearted about stuff that goes too high, or you lost it, or you forgot, or whatever. And or you're too scared to buy it online because you didn't know how much the shipping was going to be or how much it was going to cost at the end. All of these things. But it just goes to show, always be hopeful, because you never know if you will see the same piece again. It was such an amazing surprise to find that piece. So here we go. Let's do it. So for those of you who are just joining us, I'm having a technical problem and I'm not able to use the cursor. So I'm going to do something very daring, and I'm going to shut the computer down and try to bring it back up. If there is a problem and we disconnect, I'm going to go live again right away. So if I lose you, go back into YouTube and you'll see that I come back live. I won't bother with posting it and all that. It'll take another 10 minutes. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your eyes, and let's do this. See what happens. Hang on for one minute. It looks like I'm still live. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I've got my cursor. You had to restart your computer this morning. Mary, maybe it's just a thing today. I feel like I can see you. Somebody give me the signal so I know I can keep going. Because I look like I'm live and I look like I didn't leave, which would be like, yes, I beat you, Dominique. Hello in Quebec. Great to see you. Oh, Mary, guild gathering like the Scots gathering in the 1700s, something like that, like a gathering of the clans, right? All the different families. Is rug hooking, is our ribbon candy hooking business set up as an LLC? Yes. Um, it should be anyway, unless I'm whatever on something. Ribbon candy hooking, but Tigger is not. Tigger is a not for profit. So, yeah, Tigger is set up differently. Okay, great. Amazing. I can't believe that that worked. 1 inch of snow in North Central. Oh, Indiana, fantastic. Okay, great. Holy mackerel. Okay, let's assume that we are good. There's my cursor. Welcome back, cursor, you jerk. All right, so let's look at some of our stuff. Let's start with Mary, just in case this happens again. Let's come over here to Mary and let's look at this piece that is the thumbnail of the day. Mary, you did a beautiful job. This is your first Prati piece, right? This is your first Prati piece, and what a beautiful piece it is. This was named My Sister's Keeper in honor of your sister who sadly just passed away earlier this month. What a beautiful piece. What a happy piece as well. Sunflower done in Prati. Now, this is an exciting piece for a few reasons. And Mary, you were so excited about this, right? Being your first Prati piece, it came out so beautifully. You must be feeling so encouraged, excited, cheered on, satisfied, right? You must be very proud of yourself because it came out great. So you know that you can do it. You know that it worked. Sometimes we see Prati as shaped pieces that are pushed or pulled through, depending on the tool in your hand, the backing. But we also see Prati the way that Mary has done it with strips like the wool strips, cut with scissors, cut with your bliss, cut with the Sizzix, whatever, strips, right? You can push through strips and you get this beautiful effect. They look almost like ribbons, right? So this is a combination of hooking and Prati. Such a beautiful piece, but that Prati sunflower gives it a three-dimensional effect that is really stunning. And Mary, it's not hard to do, right? Once you get the hang of it, it's not hard to do. Prati tools can differ. Um, oh, Dion Blackwell says, it looks amazing in person. It's even more stunning. Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. I'll show you some close-ups of this too. You know, when you're doing Prati, you're using one of several tools. Now, if you are in the UK watching, we know that you use a slightly different tool because we know that Elspeth of Ragged Life, right, who is a fantastic British pioneer of rag making, she kind of refined a Prati tool that has a really tight and small needle nose. And that is different than the Prati tool that you will find if you buy it from a US company, right? Unless it's Elsbeth's imported Prati tool, our Prati tools are not so fine in the needle nose, right? And you can, she goes through, if this is one strand of the woven, she goes through and under and pulls through across. You cannot do that with the American Prati needle nose tool. You have to pull from the front or the back, right? You're literally pulling it through. You're not pulling it across. You're pulling it either from under or over. Or you've got a Prati tool with a sharp little, not too sharp because it can't bust a hole in the backing, but you're pushing something through like this, right? With like a sort of dull, pointy tool. You can use a lot of things for Prati. Traditionally, people have used like animal horns, wooden tools like bodkins, all kinds of things, right? So there's lots of ways to do Prati, but Prati is simply the practice of pulling through a shaped piece of material that is meant to be sort of three-dimensional, right? Have a three-dimensional effect. So that's just what Mary's done here with the My Sister's Keeper piece. Let me show you some different views of this. This is it from the back. So you're seeing in the back that the background is hooked and you see the difference comes, you can see the stitching becomes different. And this is because it's the back of it, you see the little dot lines, right? The little like sort of dotted lines where the Prati is. You're just seeing the back of the Prati travel from one hole to the next. Those little yellow lines look different than the way that the rest of the rug is worked because it is a different technique, right? You're getting some nice comments. Mary Michelle says, much love to you, Mary. I bet you will always smile as you walk by this work of art and devotion. And the candle. And Mary says, I love it. I made my own Prati tool. I'll send a picture of it if you like. I would love that. I made it out of black willow. Mary, I think we'd all love to see that tool. Such a beautiful piece. And you know what else? I loved this photo. This photo made me so happy because Mary, you are working in the old school style on an actual sack, right? This is like a feed sack. This is rice, right? Rice sacks, potato sacks, vintage sacks, new sacks, coffee sacks, sacks that come from your local coffee store, sacks you found at somebody's yard sale, right? A burlap sack. This is the earliest way that we see rug hooking, and you are working into a sack. You did a beautiful job. It's so much fun. This picture is so much fun because it tells us so much about the history of the craft, and you're doing it the old-fashioned way, which makes it that much more special to me. Mary, it's such a beautiful piece, and I really appreciate these photos. I will love seeing that black willow tool. Let me know if you send it while we're on the live show, because I'll try to hold my camera up and show it, but no pressure if you're busy watching. No pressure. Mary, I just love this piece. You did a beautiful job. You should be so proud of yourself. I hope that you send in all your subsequent pieces. You're onto something good. I'm so sorry about your sister, and I'm so sorry that this year has started out the way that it has for you. But I'm very happy that you found a great community and that you found a craft where you can think and process and remember and do creative work, because that will definitely help you feel better, right? It doesn't make anything change or doesn't make anything go away, but it definitely is a comfort when you find something that you can really dig into that helps you sit still and process your thoughts. So we will all be thinking of you, and thank you for sending in that beautiful piece. Black willow, that sounds amazing. It helps me more than you know. Oh, I'm very happy to hear that. I love hearing this, and you know what? It is a common story for people to write and say. I don't always share stories like this, but and sometimes I talk on the phone if someone writes and says, something like this happened, and that they found rug hooking on YouTube, or they found the channel or something. This is something I hear a lot. I hear it in person, and I get these emails, and it makes me very happy that we are here and that we're doing this craft and that people are finding this craft. So. Yeah, please, yeah, send a picture. I'll check my phone. And in the meantime, remember we looked at on Friday night a pattern by Patricia Bach, and my buddy Shannon Carter had just finished it. Right, it was the rabbit. Right, it was the rabbit, and she said she thought she jacked it up. She's so funny. This is another one by. Oh, okay, Mary, I'll check in 1 second. This is another one by Patricia Bach, because remember we were commenting on, Patricia started making these patterns for everyone, and I think it's a great thing to do. I love the way that she is doing it. I love how she's putting a little color into some of them. I love her border. I love the text. It's all very exciting. She's doing beautiful, very traditional folk style work. She's a wonderful artist, Patricia, and I'm just loving seeing her pictures pop up. This is one of her own patterns that she's working on herself. She is in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. She's doing such a lot with really lovely and different colors, sometimes traditional colors and sometimes colors that are more vibrant, like the robin's egg blue in this one, with all of those shades of plum and indigo. Really beautiful pieces. But I always love to talk about different artists who Yep, Mary, I don't see the photo yet. I just see the text, but send it when you get a chance. Yeah, I just love seeing people. I love knowing that new people are putting out patterns. And although we don't allow pattern selling, right, there's a few admins, mostly me and Kirsten, and a few others who help. Barbara helps on the Facebook group, but we can't do like we used to do with people selling everything on the Facebook group, because then you open up the page and it's all stuff for sale, and you can't see projects that anyone's working on, and you can't find conversations because it's just everybody selling stuff. So we can't do that anymore on our page. And it's not fair to me either when I work so hard on my brand trying to sell stuff myself. But I do love knowing, and I do love sharing when people are making beautiful patterns and selling stuff, right? Because I want you to know that it's there. But yeah, Patricia is one of these people who I really admire, and she is doing some super lovely work. I also happened to see this by Linda Hadlock in our group this week, and she sent it to me as well because this is a ribbon candy hooking design named for my good friend Colleen Tiefenthal, also a Tigger board member, one of my great rug hooking friends, and her brand is Beech Nut Studio. This was in the Design Like book published by Rug Hooking Magazine, so Ampry Press. And this piece is called Colleen's Mermaids, and it is obviously in the style of Gustav Klimt. I designed this one specifically for um, Colleen because her brand is so nautical. She loves mermaids. She loves everything nautical, and I knew that she chose Klimt as her design like, so I made this specifically for her. And I've seen a couple other people hook it since then, and this is the most recent version I've seen by Linda Hadlock in New Hampshire, and she is like one of the big heads, if not the president. I'm not sure if she's president, but she is the person I always interact with for the Woolen Magic, the Woolen Mountain Magic, Woolen Magic Mountain. Why can't I put it together? Mountain Magic, maybe. The Guild in New Hampshire, one of the guilds in New Hampshire. It's such a beautiful piece. Linda really killed it. I mean, this is unbelievably beautiful. She bought this pattern one of the times that I was speaking there, and I had a lot of the design like patterns. Um, Absolutely love it. I thought it was phenomenal. She's going to take a better picture of it, not in lamplight, so we can see it a little bit more. Susan says, I immediately saw Klimt. Yeah, this is a fun piece with like, two figures kind of perpendicular, lots of Klimt shapes in the background. It is a very, very, very busy piece. The top mermaid is in profile. The bottom one you're seeing head on. And like with all of the design like stuff, and this is one of the patterns in the book. I'm using tropes and motifs that Klimt himself used in the chapter, the Design Like book. The premise is, and I have to put up the next Design Like class, trying to choose between Picasso and Alexander Calder. I'm all set to do Alexander Calder, but I might do Picasso first because I feel like, do we need a really big name? I've taken a hiatus from that class. I'm gonna put that up probably 24, 48 hours. In any case, we will resume the Design Like series now that the holidays are over and I feel more in control. But I really love this one. I really love Linda, and I was so happy that she bought it and that she finished it. All right, Patricia, you sent us the tool that you made. This is really amazing. You made this. See, I would have thought this was like antlers. No, I wouldn't. It looks like wool. I initially would have thought it was antler. This is, did you say willow, black willow, something like that? You made this little tool, right? And you can see the wood grain on it, particularly, oops, wait a minute, particularly on the side. This side here, you see that little knot on the far side? What a beautiful and tactile thing too. It must have felt very good to be able to hold that. Did you hold it like in the crook of your hand? So, because it does have that like V, that little dip in it. I feel like, you know, like Pratty tools, like rug hooks, it really depends on how it feels in your hand, doesn't it? Some rug hooks look beautiful and you love the way that the wood looks and it looks very tactile and you feel like you're going to want to use it all the time. And it turns out to not be super right for your hand. This looks to me like something that would be so nice to hold and to touch. Yes. So beautiful. Thank you for sending a picture of that. And it just, for everyone who is looking forward to the clearing of the snow, right? Once its beauty is over, and you're going for walks and stuff, be thinking about that. When you see things that fell on the ground, be thinking that you might be able to kind of whittle, make, shape. Sometimes you see little pieces, little knots on the ground. Is it something that you could refine and turn into a Pratty tool for yourself? Nothing better than homemade tools, right? It must feel so good to be able to work with a tool that you made yourself. Such a lot of fun. It's just such a, I think we are such capable people as rug hookers, because if we're doing this, we were either taught, right, and had an interest in the first place, or we had to figure it out on our own, which is not intuitive. So we tend to be very capable people and resourceful people who are attracted to this craft. It follows that you would want to find your own tool and use it, right? Shape it, use it, make it right for your hand. Rita says, what a cool tool. It is a beautiful tool. And one of the great things about it is if you were just to show it to someone, right, like, in passing, people wouldn't know what it was. You know, we would as hookers say, "Oh, that'd probably be really good for Prati," but other people would know what it was. It would be one of those like, what is this tool thing? Ergonomic, natural wood Prati. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Looks really strong too. Absolutely beautiful. Karen, great idea. Oh my gosh, I forgot I was going to do a video. Is somebody going to do a video on this? If someone else does a video, I won't do a video. Um, Karen says, don't forget to take advantage of the snow and clean your rugs. That's right. Take them outside now, right? Just kind of brush a little bit of snow on them, kind of scrub them carefully with a little bit of snow, right? You don't want to saturate them. You don't want to soak them. You want to like sponge the surface of them with a little fresh snow, right? And then bring them in, let them dry. I would put it like if it was a mounted piece, put it upside down or put it upside down anyway. So like it's not going, gravity isn't pulling dampness to the backing, right? It will pull some just by nature of like seeping, but try to get it to dry like face down so you're not getting the backing soaked. The backing is what's so vulnerable. Karen, absolutely. I would love to see someone, Karen, I don't necessarily mean you unless you feel like it. If you all do videos of stuff like this, make sure you post them on the Facebook page, right? I'm super happy to share this stuff. That's never a thing. I love other people's videos. I often cut from our Facebook page videos of people who are doing, um, for example, like a mini punch project with really loud music playing and a bunch of hashtags to their channel, their Instagram, their TikTok, and their store. Those I do the nix because I feel like they compete and it's too borderline. And also I don't like it when I'm scrolling on the internet and on Facebook and something really loud pops up. I personally don't like it. Right? Not that there's anyone here, but I don't want to hear it. So I tend to take those things down. Regular videos that other people post, please share them in our Facebook group. Great information, right? I would love to see that. Mary says it is the Prati tool is very comfortable. I was shaving bark for medicine, and I thought as I held it that I could use it as a tool. So I started whittling it out and fine tuning and sanding it as I tested it. Mary, you should really put an article about this into Magpie Times. If you just sent a photo, well, you did send a photo of the piece and the sunflower piece. For those of us who don't watch the show, right, and that's by far like most people don't watch the live show. If you even wrote like a paragraph about that, I could put it into the spring issue of Magpie Times. The sunflower would be great for that issue. And I already have the photos. And if you were to write like a little, just a paragraph about, it being named for your sister and what you just wrote there about the genesis of finding the wood and the intention of using it for medicine and then realizing it would make a great tool, I could easily put that into this upcoming next issue of Magpie if you feel like it. No pressure. Kanka says wood found on the ground is called gifted wood, given to you from the tree. Oh, that is really nice. That sounds like a pattern too. Gifted wood. It reminds me, of course, of the giving tree, right? That is so beautiful. I love that idea. It's very magical, that idea. So beautiful. Oh, I love these side conversations. You know what else I found this week? Yes, please do, Mary. That would be great. Really, that would be great. We saw Jump in Jehoshaphat, the tag, right? We looked at this piece earlier. I'm going to unlock this. Remember, this was being worked. I'm going to travel with you for a minute, so heads up. I'm going to show you the full size because this is a long piece that was being done on burlap. I think it was burlap that was opened up or doubled up or something like that. And there was a big conversation online about whether it should all be hooked over or leave some of the burlap showing. Remember, we just saw Mary's burlap, right? And there was a big conversation. Of course, it's always up to the artist. I love the way the finished product came out. And Jumpin' Jehoshaphat is always doing stuff that, like pieces that are so sort of avant-garde, hip, have a vintage feel, but are really, contemporary pieces for us in the rug hooking world. This has all of these sort of shield shapes, motifs with this kind of network circuitry in the background that in one regard looks like hit or miss and in another looks like something very, very modern, right? Like wires, the innards of a computer, like God knows what, right? Such a beautiful piece. And if you saw this piece on Facebook Marketplace, um, you noticed, and I don't have the ability to do this on this platform, it lights up. So it is like circuitry. She's got a battery pack on the back of it. And when you look at this thing, if you look this up in the Facebook group, you'll see it um, on the front. So there's wires on the back, and it looks like this. And the battery pack is secured to it that's attached to all these little fairy lights. It has lights that move around the circuitry, right? So it is like an interactive kind of installation piece, right? It lights up, not crazy, not like Christmas. It lights up like a computer board, right? With like little lights going on here and there, and they move. I mean, it really is such a cool piece. Mary says, all the wonderful gifts from our Almighty. And Rita says, Mary, are you making arthritis medicine? Interesting. New Moon says, oh, surprise, I didn't get a notification. I'm so sorry. Dang it, you should have. I put it up this morning. I'll try to put them up the night before. Remember, I wasn't able to do that in the past. All of a sudden, I think the thing upgraded, and I am able to do it. So I'll try to put them up a day ahead if I can. Jane sent in, no, Jane didn't, I found this online. Jane Bancroft. I just thought this was such a beautiful, simple and beautiful piece. Reminds you that pieces don't have to be enormous for them to be um, precious and perfect. So, Small Berry Bear by Jerry Spears, finished this month, right on the 11th, started between Christmas and New Year. And Jane, such a beautiful piece. I don't know Jerry Spears, but I want to look up that brand, that name. This is such a charming piece. It looks like a sort of real primitive style. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Such a pretty piece. And I have another piece to show you from Jane in just a minute. Let me look at these. Yeah, here's the other piece from Jane. Jane finished the kit of the month, right? So this was Farewell, Sir Spruce. This was the January kit that I was talking about. This is Jane's version. And again, this is always available as a pattern, right? You could do it in the same sort of colors or do it in different colors. But the kit sold out for the January one. The February one's going to go up within the next few days. And this is what it looked like. And this is what mine looks like too. So all of them are looking similar. This kit comes with Crazy Eights. It comes with a pack of Crazy Eights that are uncut. So you are able to cut them however you want. Jane hooks primitive style, or at least the pieces that I've seen. You can see these are cut primitive. I don't know whether they're cut with like a wide cut Bliss or something, Bliss Fraser, or if they're cut with scissors or a rotary cutter. It doesn't make any difference. I cut mine with scissors, right, when I did it. And I did a lot of the small stuff in a number 5 cut, which I cut with my little machine, my Bliss. But so beautiful how they are all very similar. When you look at this, at first glance, it looks exactly like mine, but it's a little bit different. It's also a little bit different than Sharon's. Sharon likes a much smaller cut, right? So we all like different things. It's the same pattern, isn't it? The same colors. One of the things I love about this pattern is the 2 dogs, which will appear in all of the patterns. This is the Months at Mousehole Farm. And she's got this kind of pink house, right? That's the farm. And the mouse is the main character in all of these. And then her 2 dogs, Laundry and Lint Ball. I love how they look different for each person. Oops, sorry, wrong one. I'll be back there in a sec. Right? I just love that. They're supposed to be primitive and shapy. Mine are so weird looking. They all look different, and I love that. They're like weird little terriers, right? So cute. I mentioned earlier that Kirsten has a new design, and here it is. So Kirsten, you put this into the Ribbon Candy Hooking Store, right? So this is one of Kirsten's new designs. Kirsten, and I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts, is working on an amazing project right now. This is unrelated as far as I know, but very excited about what Kirsten's working on right now. I love this piece. So this is a Bee and Daisy, and this is a new piece that she just sent. I just got it this morning. So Kirsten, you know how much I love you. We're like really, really close friends. I just love Kirsten's designs, and we see them almost immediately being hooked, right? People immediately get them and start hooking them, and we see different versions of them, and it's so exciting, particularly for Kirsten, to see them evolve. Um, It's so exciting, and I hope this isn't a spoiler alert, but I'm going to say because you're going to see it soon. The upcoming cover of Magpie Times is a design by Karen Garby and Kirsten Gay, and hooked by Jessica Troyer. So you will see the image for the cover of the spring Magpie Times in the very near future. It is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. So something to look forward to. But yeah, Kirsten, another beautiful piece, Bee and Daisy. And remember, Kirsten is having another Zoom, right? On February, I'm scrolling up while my mouth runs. February, let's see, was it 7? Oh, Kirsten, what's wrong? Yeah, February 7, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So an opportunity to interact with Kirsten in person as well, right? Because it's like a Zoom situation, right? No, wait a minute. Rita, you said something. Oh, no, Karen, you said something I wanted to share. Karen said, scrolling back down here, do. Oh, Karen said, we're talking about cleaning your, I'm sorry, we're talking about cleaning your rugs in the snow. Karen said, I use a broom to lightly brush the snow over the rug, turn it over, lightly tap the back side, and then hang it up. Perfect. Thank you so much. That's perfect. That makes me think, I wonder, well, it's snowing like gangbusters right now. I mean, it's snowing like yesterday, like it's another blizzard here. I do have like a laundry thing outside. I can't put it up in the snow. Oh, I wonder if I could put it up in the breezeway though. Maybe I'll try to do that later. Um, that's a great idea. I wonder if we have a little broom. I know I have colored bristle brooms. I think they might be too stiff, like the old time brooms. I'm gonna have to think about that. I wonder if we have a normal broom. Guessing we don't. We don't have anything normal. I'll have to check. That's a really good idea. I think that would be really thorough, right? Giving it a good old sweep. Um, let's see. I want to follow up on this conversation with Mary and Rita as well. Um, okay, so Kanga says, wait a minute, no worries, I'll circle back. Kanga says, Nashville, Tennessee has a way too much gifted wood from yesterday. Unfortunately, that's true. But it would be a beautiful way to honor those poor trees. Absolutely, to turn them into Prati tools. That's such a beautiful idea. I love that. You're right. The trees, the everything is just falling down. We save stuff that we can save and put it over near that little, we call it the owl house, the little playhouse that has the door open now for the birds. We keep wood on the little front porch of that thing because we burn it in the fireplace. But I would love to see, I don't know enough about this, but I would love to learn what kinds of wood would be suitable for Prati that is like disinclined to crack, to get really dry and crack. Because I would think that you would want wood that's very dense and strong, but also soft and pliable, not like brittle. You know what I mean? Um, I'd love to learn more about this. Mary, I look forward to getting whatever you are able to send, and I'll get that into Judy to edit today or whenever you send it. The day you send it, I'll get it into her. Um, Jane, oh, good to see you. You did Sir Spruce cut with scissors. Fantastic. Okay, thanks for letting us know. I did mine with scissors too. I just love sitting and cutting with scissors, strip by strip. Jerry Spears' Wool Junction. Great information. Thank you so much. Beautiful piece that he did, the berry beer. It's not that time of day yet. Um, Rita, any willow bark will work. You can tincture rubbing alcohol for topical or vodka for oral for at least 6 to 8 weeks. Oh, interesting. There's a side conversation going on here that's super interesting. Not the outer bark, the inner bark. Interesting. Kirsten says, yes, it is the ribbon candy hooking. It is in ribbon candy hooking, and it's called Daisy's Cupid. Okay, so it's not called Bee and Daisy. It's called Daisy's Cupid. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Jessica, you're there too. I'm just joining. Hello, everyone. I love the Daisy and Bee pattern. Oh, great to see you. I sent all your stuff. Like the 3 patterns are gone for the Spill in the Tea book. And Frayne 045222 something chicken wagon, chicken nuggets. Unless I'm missing something. I'm not sure about that. Catching up tomorrow Zoom. Okay, there's a Zoom tomorrow as well, and February 7th. So there's a Zoom tomorrow. Tomorrow is the routine Tuesday Zoom. So that will happen as per usual, right, Valerie? Unfortunately, our bit of snow got rained on and now is frozen crust. The soft, dry snow is the best, definitely. The frozen crust is so dangerous. I'm sorry. The owl outhouse, exactly. Somebody left like an owl sculpture, like a wood sculpture on the side of it, so we call it the owl house. Um, awesome. Okay, I wanted to show you one more thing before I leave you. And what else was I going to say? Let me show you this first. I don't want to lose this. So I was scrolling this morning as usual, and I saw something, an incongruity. I was looking at Live Auctioneers, and I have Live Auctioneers, the website, right? Live Auctioneers is an umbrella website where they auction everything, right? You could buy like vintage glass shoes, the ones you collect. You could buy umbrellas, anything. You put the search in, and it will send you more than you want. It'll send you notifications when those words come up. So I have a lot of combos of words in there, hooked rugs, antique rugs, rag rugs, folk art rugs, anything I can think of, I put in there. And it sends me more than I want to see because, I all of my searches are rugs. And once in a while it sends me a rug, but usually it sends me something stupid like a scarf, like an Hermes scarf. And it's like, why? But so it is aggravating. But once in a while I see something that I think is interesting and worthwhile. I just glance at it, in the morning, because it's usually a wind up. But I gotta say, this one captured my imagination for a few reasons. So, um, and I'm gonna tell you the full story here, because it initially was a wind up. I saw this listed, and it said 1850, circa 1850, and I looked at this and I said, there's no way this is 1850. This is like a commercial rug, right? So we know, I mean, even Edward Sands Frost wasn't doing his thing with copper stencils until 1864. And we know that after that we start seeing commercial pattern makers like Bluetooth, like Frost, like all of the American companies who started in the latter part of the 19th century, but certainly not 1860. So, so I knew that that was incorrect. So that wound me up as soon as I looked at it. And so let's talk about that first, because when I'm looking at this rug, I'm saying I would bet my life that this is a commercial pattern, and I know it's not 1850. 1850 is very, very, very early for a rug. Are there hooked rugs that date to 1850? Probably, right? The jury is still out with the information we have. We don't see a lot of dated rugs from this period. This would be very, very flipping early in the timeline of things. It's not impossible that we are seeing rugs made with a hook as opposed to a different tool during this period, right? We definitely are seeing rag rugs in England made in this period, but no evidence of them being a hook quite this soon. Little bit later, we are seeing the bent nail, right, around northern New England and Canada. We are seeing the bent nail set into a piece of wood. Little bit later. So as soon as we hit the 1860s and we've got Edward Sands Frost and we're looking at the idea of commercial patterns, we do at that point in rug hooking history, this is in a nutshell, right? We do at that point in rug hooking history, sort of that's where the departure is, right? The later 1860s, post Edward Sands Frost, where the idea of commercial patterns or repeat patterns is known, starts to spread. We are seeing with the advent of the commercially made rug hooking pattern, right? That is where we see the sort of advent of, at least at this moment, rugs of high value, because at that point so many people are moving toward commercial patterns and away from original patterns. And for collectors, in terms of value and uniqueness, that is the sort of jumping off point, right? We hit commercial patterns and people are doing commercial patterns, and right through the 20th century people are doing commercial patterns. So for collectors of antique rugs, they are not looking for those. So this marks like the beginning of the end, which is not to say that that won't change in the future. And it's not to say that commercial patterns don't have value. Of course, Edward Sands Frost patterns, blue nose patterns, we know some of them have tremendous value, and a lot of other early patterns and a lot of rare patterns, but this isn't one of them. So I wrote to this auctioneer and I said, not being a jerk, right? But I said, I'm wondering where you got the 1860, because if this is an 1860 rug, then this is the first rug that we can date to 1860. So that would be a big deal. But I said, I'm certain that it's a commercial pattern, and I'm certain that commercial patterns didn't exist with the information that we currently have in the 1860s. Now, if we're to hear that someone was sitting in their owl outhouse in 1860 cranking out patterns with whatever, then that will be an amazing discovery, and I will be the first person, I hope, to share that. But at this point, that's not the information that we have. Um, that would also have to mean that we unearthed a collection of rugs that we could attribute to a specific person who was had this idea before anyone else was working that early. Unlikely, right? So particularly with the internet, and we see a lot and we know a lot at this point. In any case, sometimes I send these kinds of messages and I get an angry response back, mind your own business or whatever. And I'm just thinking, you know what? The only reason I'm mentioning it is because if you're selling something that is incorrect, you're in trouble. You could be in trouble for that because you know how this happened? I would bet my life on it. You know how this rug got the year 1860 on it? AI. This is where I don't like AI. I love AI for medicine. I love AI for diagnosing stuff. That is great. I don't love AI for most other things. And this is AI, right? So when you Google, when did people start rug hooking? It immediately starts talking about the 1860s. And so for someone who isn't a specialist on hook drugs or textiles in general, they're in a hurry. They see 1860, close the phone, don't need to know anything else. They're going to put 1860. So you have to be careful when you're looking at rugs online. With AI, we are looking at more incorrect information while we're shopping. So just be aware of that. It's for sure. It's not maybe, it's for sure. AI is giving a lot of wrong information out. So be aware of that when you're buying. But in this case, the auction house wrote back right away and said, "Well, we're not experts on this. What age do you think it is?" I said, "I think it's 1920s, 1930s, and I think it's probably going to sell for $75. But if there's other ones that actually are commercial patterns and date to the middle to third quarter of the 19th century, that would be a different story, and those would go for a lot more, like non-commercial patterns." So I sent a very nice response back, and I was very encouraged that the auction house sent a nice response too, because I don't think that they had. Oh my God, there's a lot of birds out there. They're all little juncos. They're waiting for the blue jays to leave the Christmas tree on the porch. They're all waiting. Oh God, are they cute? But it's worth it. Police this too if you have time. Always be nice, right? Because we're ambassadors to our craft. But if you see this online, it's always worth sending something. Somebody might write back, "Mind your own business, you idiot." But whatever. It's always nice to write and say, "Just so you know, I think you've got some incorrect information." It's easy to do these days with AI, but just so you know, because we don't want people selling stuff they're going to get in trouble for. We don't want people buying stuff that's not what they thought. Both of those things are quite bad, right? In any case, that got cleared up. Yeah, AI bugs me too, right? But this is interesting for several reasons. And one of them to me is because this is not like fading, is it? Somebody started hooking the center. Somebody who was more OCD than me started hooking the center and they ran out of that light gray color. Now, isn't it funny how precise this hooker was? Isn't it? Because we see people running out of colors, but it's usually kind of marble or whatever. Man, this person was like really careful to use, and for whatever reason, because it's an oval shape, they were not being careful to keep the lightest color as they played chicken and ran out of the color. They were not careful to keep it in the oval shape, like in keeping with that inner field, but they were thinking in terms of, well, it's like a square peg, circle hole. They were thinking rectangle, right? That's a rectangle thinker. And they were like, okay, box it out, box it out. Maybe I'll make it. Maybe I'll make it. And they ended up not making it and switching to this darker gray. And, it looks a little funny, but it also looks, I think it's a technique thing. I think it's like, let's keep going. Wishing against wish. You can see they ran out and used a middle gray that they had a little bit of, probably hoping for the best. It's just so funny to see technique this clearly, right? It's so different. We do see marble cake. We do see half of it done or part of it done, or it kind of is usually like the Blob, right? The monster movie, The Blob, and you just see one color blobbing it to as many corners as it can, and it's usually very irregular. Not this person. This person was persnickety and was like, "Ooh, I hope I can make at least this much." They probably first said this much and then this much, and they're changing the shape that they might make it to. Really fun piece. They did really well in the center with the flowers. They did really well with that nice uniform little scroll work. I would think this is like a Aunt Lydia or a Virginia Snow, that kind of pattern. Really, one of these patterns that would have come on burlap, possibly partly painted or half painted. But yeah, the middle is highlighted. And I'm noticing the second gray in the inner field. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie, that makes my eye twitch. It's not for everyone, for sure. It's not for everyone. You know, a good fix with this, I think, would have been easy for me to say, to add a couple flowers to the side, because then maybe it looks like a toll tray, like a toll painted tray. You know what I mean? I think it was a great solution for what was going on, but it would have been a better solution for sure. It would have been easy to look at it if it was kind of marbled caked, the dark and light. But it gives me a sense of panic because I can't help but empathize with the person who was hooking it and realize they were running out. I can't help but feel that because I know what that feels like. But yeah, it's an unusual rug. It's a curious rug, and it's a great conversation on technique and how an example of how we all work differently, and how nothing is wrong. It's either distracting or it's not. You like it or you're not. Maybe it makes you laugh. I find it distracting, but it also makes me laugh because I can relate to this moment. Funny piece. But the bigger story was the opportunity to write and say, this is incorrect. And hopefully they fix it. Um, and I said, feel free if I'm not busy and you have something that you're wondering about, if you don't know anything about it, I mean, without seeing the rug, I can't do definitive, but I might recognize the pattern. I'm assuming that they've already Google lensed the pattern and they didn't get the exact thing, but got something similar, right? So they were like, what is rug hooking? Fair enough, right? Everybody does their best. Everybody does their best. But it's good to help each other too, particularly when on this channel we talk about the ages of rugs and we know so much at this point. We've seen so much and we know so much. So this afternoon, I am going to put out, I got to say, yesterday after that long Tigger meeting, I transferred, I would say, 12 patterns from Spillin' the Tea. And that will come out after the Rose Book. The Rose Book will come out this spring, right? I'm formatting that and getting all that done now. The book after that will be the 250th anniversary of America, called Spilling the Tea. I put out at least 12 patterns yesterday on backing for people. I posted in our face group, is anyone interested in working on this book? I think we're all watching the news. We feel differently. But I am not feeling particularly patriotic. These are not patriotic patterns. These are historic patterns that tell stories from the colonial settlement period through the 1770s when we won our independence. Old time American stories, right? True stories, Native American stories, myths, right? But storytelling from that early settlement period, colonial period of American history. So a lot of people jumped on that and took patterns yesterday. I transferred those, got those down there in the mail, assuming the mail person can pick them up today. I kind of hope she doesn't because the roads still look really dangerous, but they are ready to go. And I think I've got 3 more to do today. And I think I've got 3 patterns left. I drew 2 of them, refined 2 of them last night. So there's 3 left. It doesn't mean that you would like them. If anyone is looking for another pattern, and I'm making a 4th one that is specifically for Doris, if you're watching, Doris. But I'm coming to the end because I think we're at about 40 patterns, which is more than I wanted to do for this book. The patterns will be there for you to do too. So it is a pattern book and a historical storytelling book, and lots of different people hooking these patterns. It's a lot of fun to put together. It's coming together quickly. If you are hooking something, I'm hoping that you will send me the image of it by mid-May. If you're not able to get me a great image, then I can send you a label. You can send it to me and I will send it back to you because I can get a great image. But it is a lot of fun to work on this book. I know there are other people who are working on the laundry line book, the Mystic Carpet book, and some of our other ribbon candy hooking books. Right now, I'm tying up the Rose book called The Rose's Tale, and we are hot into working on the Spill in the Tea book. But stay tuned with both Magpie Times Magazine for submitting things, articles, gallery pieces, anything, right? Anything rug hooking or sister arts, adjacent textile arts. But you can always send me an email and say, well, what books are happening now, right? Because they're just ongoing challenges. And I will tell you, right, well, this is going on or this is going on. You're interested in that. You want to see something on that. And all I ask in return when you have a project for one of the books is that you get it to me by the deadline or you communicate very well if there's a problem. So if I've already written the chapter and or it's already set out and I'm waiting for the image and it doesn't get done, I understand that things happen, but communication is essential because things like that can hold up these publications indefinitely, you know. Um, it's all about communication, right? There are three grays. Yes, there are three grays in that one. I thought you said three guys, and I was thinking about the burgers and fries, right? Where can I see the tea patterns? Rita, I'll send you them as soon as I hang up. Um, uh, Susan, my pattern has been rolling around in my head. It's in the mail, or at least it's in the box. I'm not sure. I should go down and check to see if they've picked anything up. Yeah, you're doing a really great pattern. You're doing Connecticut Yankee based on true person. And in the spring, that museum is going to open. So it'd be great to, when you finish, to bring the rug to show them because they'd probably love to see it. It's his house. It's Christopher Leffinger's house and whole big museum, all the mills that he owned and all that stuff. How to see it as value and color and pattern, eager to see the scale. So I can decide how to approach it. I think it's probably 20 tall, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's different when you see it in person. Feeling torn or wide. Yeah, torn or wide would do it because he's got the stockings in the background. He had a stocking factory, and the first chocolate mill. Um, I think in the country, at least in Connecticut, but I think it was the first chocolate mill in the country. I'm not sure. He had a lot of mills. He had a lot of firsts, this guy. So he's holding a chocolate pot in that one. Also, if you have an idea of an early American story that you know of that happened in your neck of the woods, if you think, oh, well, there's this house in my town and it was for this person. This person had this great story, you know, this person was a hero or this person was an everyday person and yeah, this is a name that we know locally. If you have that kind of a story, send it to me. And if I have the time, which I will totally 100% try to make the time to come up with a pattern for you, so you have something that's kind of personalized based on a story that you're feeding me, like a true sort of early American story. You can do that too. Like it's never a charge. This is for the book, right? So it's never like a charge or anything. If you're like, oh, I'd love for her to do a pattern about this person who I know of who's a local hero, but I don't want to bug her or whatever, go ahead and bug me, right? We're putting a book together. So always feel free to bug me. It's never a bug. Anyway, I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to get some other stuff done. A bunch of you ordered the this pattern, the Love Your Neighbors. I think we need it now more than ever. I'm not going to start. But so I still haven't had time to block this, right? It's been crazy few days. So I'm going to I'm going to get those patterns done. And I'm going to walk those down to the mail too. She usually doesn't come till the afternoon and the road isn't clear at all. So we'll see what she does today. But I'm going to get all that stuff done. In the meantime, you work on your stuff. Keep me updated. And I will be back with you on Friday for our evening show. I'll try to get out there when the snow stops and do a cleaning the rug in the snow video. And yeah, ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com. If you need anything from me or you have anything for me in the meantime, I am here. It is snowing. Stay safe, stay warm, work on your great projects. And thank you to everyone for the great content of the show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at Friday, 7 p.m.